You are listening to Money Matters Podcast. I am your host, Yasmine Belle, writer, speaker, CEO, and founder of Belle Capital Management and Woman CEO Inc., which is the hub of all of our discussion here. My purpose is to create a safe space to have the courageous conversation of all things money matters, while we create leadership empowerment growth through a wellness mindset. Now, let's ignite the CEO in you to dream, execute, and lead with confidence while making an impact. Money. You're so money you don't even know it. Is it too taboo to talk about? Let's have the courageous conversation and break the silence. Have you ever asked a friend how much they're paying in rent? If you have, did you pay attention to their facial or body language? If you haven't, give it a try. In that moment, I want you to notice the facial expressions as well as the body language presented. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, money is a private matter, right? Well, it shouldn't be. Many of us grow up, including myself, learning that money is one of the few topics, including politics, sex, and religion, that you should avoid discussing in polite company. You shouldn't disclose your salary with colleagues or brag about your net worth, or even ask your friend about how much they're paying in rent, even if it helps you put your budget in perspective. We are so discouraged to talk about money at every turn, and if talking about money and asking questions could ultimately help us get ahead and encourage us to lead with financial grace, why is it so taboo? If we want to overcome our not so amazing financial situation, talking about it is necessary and shouldn't ever feel taboo. Learning about money is intimidating, as there is no real structural system in place to teach us. Currently, in the United States, 6 out of 10 men live paycheck to paycheck, and 8 out of 10 women live paycheck to paycheck. See where I'm getting at with this, and why this is such a passionate subject of mine? This is exactly what inspired me to create my podcast and my YouTube channel. This must change immediately. And it starts with education, education, education. Furthermore, we look at poor money skills as something to be embarrassed about, which keeps us from being honest about money and seeking out the right kind of help. Most of my clients come to me for help when they have exhausted all their options and they are on the borderline of declaring bankruptcy or have a huge financial planning, overhaul, or debt consolidation. But here's the key. You can go to a financial coach, any financial advisor, you can read all the books and articles online, but unless you want to change this for yourself and learn, you will always be powerless in the hands of another individual. You must take control of your finances and you must make the changes and learn. Why? Because financial power is one of the most incredible important factors to maintain. It is difficult for people to discuss about money because there's no real standard of measurement of financial metrics, and you cannot manage what you don't measure. And because of this, there's no size fits all in the world of finance. However, there are basic tools and practices that are standards, which I'm aiming to teach you here. So at a minimum, you'll be able to build a life you've always dreamed of. Because of the lack agreed upon financial metrics, people feel fear or shame around what their finances look like. And according to the data of Fidelity Investment, 43% of Americans don't even know how much their spouses make. Let me repeat that. Almost half of Americans, 43%, do not know how much their spouses make. Huh? What? Is money conversation so taboo to talk about, even with your spouse? Surely you and your spouse have different spending habits, so why not start the conversation there? As you may be aware, the top predictor for divorce is finance. When you don't even know what your household income is, you can pretty much guarantee a financial fight will eventually erupt. If you endured sleepless nights or have money on the brain that causes you stress and anxiety, it's natural to want to keep it to yourself because you might feel ashamed about the decision you made. And when you ignore the financial situation, minor financial problems happening regularly, guess what? Builds up to a very substantial challenge. Never feel ashamed for your past or current financial mistakes. The key here is to learn from it and not make the same mistake twice. If I told you my story and how I lost everything and gained it all back, and now I am the CEO of an accounting firm as well as a financial coach, would you hold my past against me? I have personally learned more when the 2008 market crash and I lost everything down to a single penny of all my investments, and that I have worked so hard for. And I honestly could tell you I thought I was going to retire at 40. You can't even begin to imagine the guilt and shame I went through. It took me a long time to trust myself again, but then I decided to learn from my mistakes, and I knew that if I was successful then, I could be successful now. But now I am embarking on my journey with a lot more courage, smarts, and better financial decision making. And I was able to slowly pick the pieces and rebuild even stronger. Without that experience, I wouldn't be sitting here with you today sharing my story and telling you that you are not alone and you too can overcome this. I will be with you every step of the way. But I can be here for you, but in order for this to work, you need to want this change. So it's time we all change the story and open up about money. If you don't pay attention to your finances, there's always someone waiting to take advantage. And as wages continue to stagnate and the income gap continues to widen, talking and learning about money is crucial for change. Okay, so if talking about money is so important, where and how do we even begin? I'm going to give you a few financial coaching tips that you can change immediately. Number 1, start small. Remember, if you're intimidated about money, you don't have to learn everything all at once. Start with one financial lesson a week and apply it. For example, if you have a hard time saving money, focus your literacy on emergency funds. Emergency funds should be around 6 to 8 months of your current expenses saved in a high yield savings account or money market. Another example would be if you want to get out of debt, research different debt payoff methods and read money articles or listen to a money podcast during your workout or commute. One of the top recommendations for debt solutions, which I recommend to my clients, is the snowball debt payoff. Now, there's a lot of other debt payoff methods out there, but this is one I find most effective. Dedicate 30 to 90 minutes a day to financial literacy, and you'll be surprised how much you learn over time. This could be picking up a book, reading an article online, purchasing an audiobook if you're always on the go, or jumping on YouTube and getting inspired. You can always tune into our YouTube channel as well, Money Matters TV with Woman CEO Inc., for some additional Financial Friday guidance. Number 3, schedule money meetings, especially with your partner or spouse, as it is so important you both are on the same page about your finances. Before you sit and have the talk with your spouse, follow these steps as they will help you avoid fighting about those topics in the future. And then make a list of all topics you want to discuss, such as financial goals, setbacks, and spending habits. Pick a regular time each week to hold a money meeting, even if it is 15 to 20 minutes. The goal here is to get in the habit of having the conversation, and also things come up from week to week. Circling back again to a few topics we discussed. 1, start small with financial lessons each week and apply it. 2, dedicate 30 to 90 minutes of financial literacy a day and schedule your weekly money meeting with your partner. Now, in addition of having the conversation with your partner, I also believe that speaking with your friends about your financial situation is critical for breaking the taboo around money. The more comfortable and open you are about discussing topics such as retirement plans, student loans, and budgeting, the more opportunity you have to learn from each other. The key here is to learn from each other's wins and losses and to avoid making the same financial mishaps as they can be costly. The more we talk about our situation, we can either accept them or work on improving them. The healthier our relationship with money will get. Now, you do need to be honest about your money and your current financial situation. Here's an example. Let's say you want to throw a little extra to your car loan this month, which means cutting back on going out to dinner. When your friend invites you for sushi, instead of making an excuse like, hey, I'm busy, I need to do laundry, try to have the courageous conversation where you stand with your finances. This also creates the possibility for learning, and maybe your friend tells you how they paid their car loan early, for instance. Or maybe you simply both agree on a cheaper hangout alternative. Either way, you invite a better financial habit and solution when you break the no talk about money taboo. Remember, the goal here is to feel empowered, not guilty or shame of your current financial situation. Next, set a goal. Having a plan for your money may be the best way you can get comfortable with it, as the most successful clients I have are the ones who clearly define goals for themselves. So set 3 to 5 goals on a weekly and monthly basis and check in with them. It could be from saving $5,000 for an emergency fund up to December 31st, or to making $75,000 at a job. Hence, you would need to request either a promotion or move to a different job that may fit your financial goal. Or 3, only will go out to dinner once a week instead of 4. Again, the more financial goals you achieve, the more comfortable you'll get in your financial situation. Another very important financial tip is find like-minded people. When you're trying to get more comfortable with your money, it helps to surround yourself with people who are on the same page, have similar goals, and are open to talking about these financial goals. If you're struggling with finding mentors, we have built a really amazing community on Facebook group for women called Women CEO Money Chat under the Women CEO Inc. brand. The best part of our community of women group is that each week we host a roundtable building the money gaps, from negotiating tactics, debt payoff strategies, to other important money moves. So please join us. You cannot improve your financial problems by ignoring or neglecting them. When you begin to understand the value of being open and transparent about your money, it starts to feel like an imperative, a must. I hope that we can all break the silence and free ourselves from the bondage of the money conversation being so taboo. So please join me, your host, Yasmine Belle, while we embark on this movement together. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and please don't forget to tune in each Monday for a new episode. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube at Money Matters TV. Until next time, now go be the CEO of your own life. Thank you for joining us, and tune in each Monday for a new episode of Money Matters Radio, igniting the CEO in you.